Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for our afternoon streaming show. I'm Robinson Miles. It is just me here today. Jamie French is off and about taking a little bit of time, so you're just stuck with me. Now for our streaming show today, we are monitoring a few different bigger stories that are developing across the tri-states. We'll just go ahead and jump right into those right now. First of all, in Vanderburgh County, deputies say a man has been caught with dozens of child porn images. 20-year-old Hayden Dodson is accused of showing child porn to a child. Deputies say they found 70 pictures and videos of child sexual abuse material on Dodson's cell phone. They say 86 more were found in his computer. Dodson was booked into jail without bond. Now for our next story, this is a 14 News update here. Now we have a timeline of when people will start losing their jobs at RESRG Automotive in Evansville. Now we told you the business announced they are closing back in January. The company confirmed they would close both their Evansville and Farmington, Missouri facilities. In Evansville, the plant is on Congress Avenue. The official warn notice has been filed with Indiana. It shows 266 people will be laid off. The closure will be in 5 phases starting June 6th. All phases are expected to be over by the end of December. Now for our final headline today, the Spencer County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help to identify a person of interest in connection with a theft. So go ahead and take a look at this. We do have a picture there. There are several photos of her. Deputies say it happened on Tuesday last week at the Dollar General in Rio. If you recognize this woman, please contact the Spencer County Sheriff's Office. Now we have their contact information on our website. We also have these photos posted if you'd like to take a closer look. So of course there is all of these stories and a whole lot more happening around the tri-state right now. Our reporters and photographers are spread out covering a range of things. So of course we invite you to join us once again for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. But for now I'm going to hand things over to the man who knows a whole lot more about weather than myself. Give us an update on what's happening this week and what we can expect to see looking forward. Stick around here for just a moment. We'll have Michael Fecca.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the weather portion of our afternoon streaming show. We're going to get started here with a look at our headlines and what we're tracking out the next couple of days. Again, we've got some sunshine out there. It's a bit breezy and warm. We'll likely see that continue at least through Thursday. Then we start to see things change a little bit. We'll have several storm systems moving in here, one moving through on Friday and then another one moving in by next week on Monday. Both of which hold that potential for at least some showers and storms, a few of which may become severe. So we have added alert days for both Friday and on Monday. So I'll break down the details of both of those alert days coming up in just a moment. But we'll start off with a look at what we're tracking out across the country right now. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We've got high pressure anchored off to our south and east. So that's what's keeping us nice, dry, warm, and breezy. We've got this warm front that's lifting up across portions of the northern plains. It's kicking up a few spotty showers, and then we've got this area of low pressure kind of moving in across the mountain west, but fairly dry here along the Ohio River Valley. And again, that's going to stay that way at least through tomorrow. We do have the chance for maybe a sprinkle headed into tomorrow afternoon, but most of us look to stay dry until we get into Friday. Just a few thin clouds out there, nothing really major, nothing blocking out the sun. And with that sunshine and warm southerly winds, we've seen temperatures climbing all the way into the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees across the tri-state. 78 degrees in Evansville, Newburgh, 79 in Henderson and Lewisport. The warm spot on the map, 81 up towards Mount Carmel. Looking at the next 12 hours here, we'll see nothing but sunshine through the rest of our afternoon, and that will translate into clear skies overnight tonight, with temperatures dropping down into the upper 50s to mid 50s across the tri-state. Winds will still be out of the south-southwest between 2 to 8 miles per hour, so that's going to continue to warm us up headed into Thursday, climbing back up into the lower 80s by tomorrow afternoon. Again, a little bit breezy, gusts up to 20 miles per hour still possible, and again, there is that 20% chance of maybe a stray shower, but again, most of us will stay dry until we get into Friday. But let's track our Thursday out. So there's nothing really to track out in terms of precipitation, just a few passing clouds there on Thursday. It looks like if we do see a spot shower, the best chances of that would be over southern Illinois, and the rest of us would stay dry across the tri-state with a few clouds building back in headed into Friday. Now that storm system will be sending in a cold front here for Friday and then again on Monday. So that's what those alert days are for. We've got widespread rain likely with a few isolated severe storms possible on Friday and then again on Monday. So here's kind of the highlighted risk area for Friday. So this is the first of the 2 alert days. We're not looking at widespread severe weather, but with those showers and thunderstorms moving through, occasionally we may see an isolated damaging wind gust. I think that would be our main hazard here if any strong or severe thunderstorms do develop. And taking a look at some of the models, it does look like we may have 2 opportunities for storms on Friday. One moves in late morning, early afternoon. This round looks a little bit on the weaker side here, but you'll notice some of those reds and oranges indicating that isolated severe risk across portions of the tri-state. And then it looks like we may dry out and clear out ahead of that second round. Now, you know how this goes. Typically, when we see 2 rounds, the second round is always dependent on how bad that first round is. And again, we're not expecting anything wild here, but if the clouds hang around a little bit longer, or we don't really see much in the way of thunderstorms with that first round, that would leave a lot of energy left behind for that second round to move through. So according to this model, it looks like we would see at least a couple of hours of sunshine before that second round moves through Friday night. Now, I think this model is going a little bit too heavy-handed here with the look of these thunderstorms, but again, there is that isolated potential for a few severe storms headed into Friday night, and this should clear out around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's going to be early Saturday morning. So any outdoor Friday night plans at this point in time looking pretty stormy and pretty soggy. So if you already have something planned, you definitely want to make sure you're rescheduling or opting out for any outdoor plans and moving them indoors. But here's a look at that severe weather risk for Monday, and most of the tri-state included in that level 2 threat for severe storms. So again, not widespread. I think the better chances for the severe weather still remains just off to our southwest, across portions of western Tennessee, maybe even to the boot heel of Missouri and much of Arkansas, but we're on that northern fringe of that slight risk area. So here's a look at the longer range European models and how Monday may shake out. So we'll be cloudy to start, a warm front lifting up to our north. That'll feed in some of that warm, moist air from the south. We may get a stray shower out ahead of the main storm chance there, moving in late in the afternoon, headed into Monday night. So you can see those oranges and yellows. That's where you typically get some of those thunderstorms to pop up there. And then we'll clear out overnight and into Tuesday. We'll dry out for the day on Tuesday with that cold front moving off to our east. So here's a look at the latest. I actually have the wrong 7-day pulled up here, so ignore the placement of the first alert weather days there. Actually, let me go ahead and see if I can grab the correct one for you. If not, just ignore the placement of them. So again, the alert day is Friday, and then the other alert day is on Monday. So these are off by a day. But outside of those 2 potential days for storms and severe weather, it's going to be fairly dry and nice and mild. Again, the warmest days are going to be today and tomorrow. We'll be in the 80s, and then we'll be hanging out in the 70s through much of the weekend and even into next week, especially behind that front on Monday. You'll see those temperatures drop back down into the lower 70s. So that is all I've got here for a look at the forecast. I'm going to hop off the live stream now, and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 4, 5, and 6 for all the latest news and weather headlines. I'll be right back here again at 9 o'clock tonight for our all-weather stream show with more details about the forecast, and then back on air at 10 o'clock later on this evening. So until then, everybody, have a great rest of your afternoon and stay safe.